And we're back with the video sit-downs with candidates for the primary election. Diedrich Allen off camera. On camera now is Denny Hamilton. He's running for Mason County Commissioner, District 1, and you are a Democrat, correct?
That's right.
Okay. Now, Denny, let's first off, like I've done everybody else, tell us about Denny Hamilton.
Okay, well, Denny Hamilton was born in western Washington and raised in a small town, not much different from actually where I live. Town is called Fall City. And I went to Mount Si High School and graduated from there. I went to university at Central Washington and graduated from there in 1970, and 74 I went back east to graduate school, where I have a master's degree in counseling, which I began to use right away as a Peace Corps volunteer. I was the first Peace Corps volunteer recruited to be a psychologist, and I worked in the Ministry of Health in Lesotho in southern Africa. I came back and began to do a lot of international work. I went with the World Bank to Nigeria, and that was kind of a door-opening exercise that led to a whole career of being overseas. Last year I stopped doing the international work just because I wanted to spend more time here, and I started paying attention to what was going on in the county and thought, well, maybe there's a way I can make a contribution. And so that's why I decided to run for county commissioner. I have been active in the county for quite some time. I'm currently a fire commissioner with Mason County Fire District 2, which is certainly one of the best rural fire districts on the planet, I think. And so that's given me a good idea about the way things work on the level of a fire district, and I've been very busy trying to understand how things work at the county level since last October.
Okay, so we'll get into the questions now. What is the biggest issue or problem facing Mason County, and how do you plan to deal with it?
Well, I'm going to answer that in two parts. I think I have to talk about my district as one element, and North Mason is currently got two quite significant issues that it needs to address. One is the sewer, and how do we finish it in an equitable way so that we don't break the bank and push people out and so on, at the same time that we have a sewer system that does what it's supposed to do and in the long run protects the Hood Canal and so on. So that's a big issue. And the other one that's been going on for I said 30 years, and somebody said 30, no, it's more like 60. That's the Belfair bypass. And I can't believe that we don't have a bypass. And part of the reason I think we don't have is that we haven't had a commissioner living in North Mason for a long time. And so somebody who has to deal with the life of day-to-day life in Belfair would have, I think, gotten much more strong push on getting the bypass funded. So that's a big issue. In the county as a whole, I think the big issue is jobs and employment, and I think there's a three-prong approach to dealing with that. There's something that we have in this county that I call the poverty of opportunity, and basically what it means is that there are a number of people in the society who, for lots of different reasons, are stuck. They dropped out of school, they maybe had problems with drugs, families broke up, whatever it might be. So we have quite a number of homeless people and people who've dropped out and so on who are just basically stuck. And I think we need to help those people build their capacity so they're able to increase their choices and limit the amount of poverty of opportunity they're exposed to. I think we also need to work on our educational institution, particularly the community colleges. I think that they could provide, with some support, a couple of 2 or 3 additional courses that would be relevant for young people who lived in this county that would make jobs later on. One is low impact development, stormwater runoff and so on is a big thing. It's coming down the road. We can't avoid it. We need to. So it would be nice to have expertise in that subject. And the other is this county is the largest lumber exporter in the United States. And we need forest management people, and we don't have an associate degree program, so I think we could move in that direction. On the other side of the coin, I think we need to attract and support the development of small businesses. I'm working with a program now called Washington Cash that just started their orientation last Thursday, actually 2 days ago, at the Port of Allen. And if anyone's interested in learning how to start a small business, they can contact the Port of Allen and still get in the class. The courses actually don't start until next Thursday. Every Thursday, 6 o'clock. Really good program. It's been successful in Kitsap County for 18 years. And so we're trying to get it started here in Mason County. I believe that small businesses are much more likely to work here than thinking about attracting a large industry. We may be able to do that, and I wouldn't turn that away, but the likelihood is that small business or medium-scale businesses are going to be better.
So most people I've had the same question sent to all candidates, and I'm going to move out of order because we're talking about jobs and attracting business. Do you have a specific plan for that?
In terms of attracting business?
Yes.
Well, one of the things that I think is important to consider is what are the things that attract a business to come to a place like this? Well, one of the obvious answers is the natural environment. Mason County is one of the most splendid natural environments left. We need to protect that environment, and we need to let people know that we're protecting it, and that we are doing that is one of the things I think would attract some people to the area. In the meeting that was held earlier this spring with the Shelton Chamber of Commerce, there was a discussion about what is it that attracts people to an area like Mason County, and the primary thing that parents are looking for is good schools. I think we have some good schools. I think we could have great schools, and I think that we need to do more to support our education system. I mentioned already the community colleges. I think that the branch that we have here of Olympic College could be expanded to provide more programs. I don't know if it needs to have a physical expansion, but I think a key to getting people to locate here is that educational support. The other thing that I think we need to look at, and county governance, as I've learned, is not an easy thing. It's quite complicated. There are a lot of ins and outs and so on. But I think that it's possible to create an environment that's supportive to business. And one of the things the county can do is have a policy environment that is supportive of business. So that, for example, what I would like to see is a kind of a one-stop shop for business. You can come to one place, get the permits, registrations, licenses, pay any fees, whatever you need, all in one site. We don't have that now, and it might be a useful way to expedite the whole process of starting a business, whether it's a small business or some medium scale or whatever. So those are some of the things I think are important to do to attract business here.
How do you propose to increase tax revenue to support current services in Mason County?
Well, that's a good question. It's a difficult question because nobody likes to raise revenues. Now, nobody, certainly in the current environment, we are not interested in raising tax revenues. So the real nut of your question is to provide support services. At the level that we have them right now, I don't foresee that we'll need to have a tax increase. The county has done a lot of cuts to get to the level of functioning that we're at now, and I think that we have to take our hats off to the county and the employees of the county for the sacrifices they've made up to now. I don't foresee that we're going to need to increase revenue unless something catastrophic happens. I think the economy is starting to return. I think it's going to be a slow return, but I think it's going to be a steady growth, and so if we're able to maintain the current level of tax support, then I think we'll be able to continue the current level of service. If something happens where we have to increase revenues, county commissioners don't have a lot of leeway. A lot of the money comes from the state that we are responsible for. We can make a small increase in property taxes if that's necessary. I would never do that without taking it to the people and asking, one, what are the priorities that we want to address, and two, can we get to there by increasing by 1% the property tax. That would not be my first step. My first step would be to get all those communities, citizen support services that are provided by the county, public health and Department of Public Works, and all those people who are providing services already together, which they haven't had a chance to do, and have each one have a better understanding of what the other does, and then look at, are there ways that we can economize? Could we pool, for example, just as an example, could we pool accounting services, for example? Could one office handle all the accounting for all the departments? I don't know if that is realistic, but I would need the people who are doing the work to tell me that this could work or not.
Okay. What is the single biggest need in the county?
Well, I think that that question has, when I look at it, you could answer that question in so many different ways. I think boosting the economy is primary for the whole county, and we've already talked about that a little bit. I think what we need in this county is what I call a partnership for progress. I have seen nowhere any kind of statement that describes what the citizens of Mason County have as a vision for the future. We don't have a collective shared idea of where do we want to be 25, 30, 40, 50 years from now. I think if we created a partnership for progress that involved government agencies and community organizations and individuals and private sector and like the Chamber of Commerce and so on, and said, okay, let's have a meeting in Shelton, let's have a meeting in Hoodsport, let's have one in Belfair, let's all ask everybody all the same questions and start getting some idea of what is it that people see this county being some way down the road. I did a study once of a example like this. It was done by the Athabascan Indians in Canada, and they did a vision for their tribe that was 140 years out. They were thinking long term. If we could think 25, 30, 40 years, it would be something that would provide us with a direction that would help us make sense of where we're trying to go with our decision-making process. So I think a vision, this partnership for progress, that brings in young people as well as senior citizens and all the organizations that are working all over the county together to help them arrive at a common idea of, I'm not talking about the fact that there won't be some disagreement about where we should go, but there are things that we can probably agree on. We want a clean environment, for example. We want our kids educated. How can we create a vision of where we want to go that will guide the decisions that are made by the county commissioner, by others?
Final question for you, Denny. What is your vision of Mason County?
My vision of Mason County. Well, I live in the North End. And sometimes one gets the feeling like that if you're looking at North Mason County from Shelton, that it's on another planet, and that if you're looking at Shelton from Belfair, it's on another planet. And we have a long two-lane road that separates us. And what I would like to do is bring the two elements of the county closer together, at least philosophically. I think that the county has tremendous potential, and we need to work together to achieve it. We're not going to continue to work us and Shelton on separate things and those people in Belfair on another set of different things. I think we need to find some things in common that will help us. For example, one thing that I think would make a big difference is to improve the corridor that runs between the two entities of the whole transport corridor from north to south. It's a 2-lane road all the way through the county. If it were maybe a 3-lane road with a passing lane that made it much more easy for heavy traffic to move, we might increase transport along there. That might encourage more interaction between the two parts of the county now. And so I think that collaboration, again referring to this kind of partnership, a shared vision, I think that's what I see that we need. And I think there are plenty of very talented people in this county that we could draw on if we wanted to move forward.
All right, Denny. Denny Hamilton, Mason County Commissioner, District 1 Commissioner candidate, running as a Democrat. Thanks for taking some time.
Thank you very much. Good to be here.